Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video, I am going to be doing a review and glucose testing on the Hero brand bread and buns. Over the last couple of months, the most commonly requested bread that people have asked me to review is the Hero brand. Now, this particular bread has partnered with Subway in, I believe, 4 test markets here in the United States. And it would be great if I lived in one of those test markets because it would have cost me a lot less to try out this product. Now, I'm going to start by saying that Hero does not claim to be a keto bread. In fact, I don't know if they even say low carb anywhere on here, although they do list the net carbs. Tell you what, let's take a look at the ingredients and nutritional information and go from there. Now, I'll tell you, if you are clean, strict keto, if you have an aversion to wheat, this product is off the table. The ingredients are water, resistant wheat starch, wheat protein, which I think is just another name for vital wheat gluten, canola oil. Not real fond of that. Certainly they could use worse oils, but they could also use a lot better than canola. Yeast flaxseed contains less than 2% of the following: apple cider vinegar, salt, fava bean protein, guar gum, calcium propionate, and sorbic acid to retain freshness, enzymes, ascorbic acid, and sunflower lecithin. So of the various breads and tortillas that I've tested, this is probably somewhere in the middle in terms of ingredients. It's not filthy dirty, but it's certainly not going to be confused with clean keto. Let's take a look at the nutrient information. Serving size is 1 slice, calories 45, total fat 2 grams, total carbs 11 grams, all of which are dietary fiber, 5 grams of protein, so 0 net grams of carbs. The only difference between the bread and the buns is the buns also contain 1 gram of allulose. I will be reviewing and testing this bread the exact same way I have tested every bread so far, which is I will have 1 slice, plain, just plain untoasted out of the bag. Give you my thoughts on taste and texture, then I will toast a slice and butter it. I will be measuring my glucose continuously over the course of the next 2 hours using a Dexcom G6 continuous glucose monitor and the Levels Health software for analysis. I'll also throw out the disclaimer that this is in no way scientific. I am just one person. I am not a type 1 or type 2 diabetic, and these measurements are mine and mine alone. You need to own your own measurements. So with that out of the way, let's get on to the bread here. Texture reminds me a lot of Wonder Bread, just as I touch it. Not a whole lot in the way of smell to it. It doesn't smell extraordinarily bready. It's got a nice, somewhat gluten-y tear, kind of like Wonder Bread. It even squishes together like Wonder Bread. It's not gritty or powdery like some of the breads that I've tried. It's largely bland though. There's not a whole lot of flavor to it. So if you're missing bread flavor, this doesn't really deliver it. On the whole, fairly unremarkable. Looks like it toasts up pretty evenly. Also, I've seen some breads that the moment they get butter on them, it's like they almost start to dissolve a little bit, especially the ones that tend to taste more powdery. This is buttering just like white bread or white toast. No surprise, butter makes it taste better. It still doesn't have a strong bread or toast taste to it. So yeah, just purely based on overall flavor, I don't know that I can necessarily see spending $10 a loaf on this stuff, but I think what's going to be really critical to find out is what kind of glucose response I have. So I'm going to finish this, and I'll be back in 2 hours with the results. So let's take a look at how that Hero bread performed. Not good at all. A 42-point spike in glucose. So now I'm going to use the compare feature in the Levels software to compare this to the worst bread that I've tested so far, which would be the Lewis Hawaiian bread from Walmart. It is the only bread that is tested worse than this hero bread. You can see the white spike there. That's the Lewis Hawaiian bread. And then the green is the hero bread. So the Lewis actually had a 48-point spike versus a 42. Not all that good. So tomorrow I'll be back to try out the hamburger bun. Okay, I'm back for day 2 to try out the Hero hamburger bun. Let's start by looking at the ingredients and the nutritional information. In terms of the ingredients, I'm not going to bother repeating them because they are essentially the same as they were for the bread. The only difference is the burger buns do also have 1 gram of allulose. In terms of the nutritional facts, basically it is double what the bread is because you kind of have the equivalent of 2 slices, a top bun and a bottom bun. So 90 total calories, 4 grams of total fat, 22 total grams of carbohydrates, of which 21 grams is dietary fiber, 1 gram allulose for a net 0 grams of carbohydrates, 10 grams of protein. I have the burger with some cheese on it, the bun with a little homemade mayo on it, a little brown mustard on the top. That's going to be it because I don't want any other potentially carby thing that might interfere with this reading. Now I realize I've already got fat, I've already got protein, and that's going to blunt the glucose response. Fully aware of that. But I want to test this consistently with how I've tested other burger buns in the past. So now I'm going to kick off the 2-hour timer with the levels analysis software by snapping a picture. This smells really good, but you know, that's the burger. So the bun, like the bread, not a ton of flavor. I do like the texture though. I think this will hold up to a burger very well. It's a sturdy enough bun. The chew on it kind of reminds me, and this is going back a ways because I haven't had one in probably 5 years, like a White Castle burger bun. I mean, it's got, it has a nice firm, I wouldn't quite go so far as to say soft pretzel sort of exterior, but somewhere between a regular burger bun and soft pretzel. Anyhow, I'm going to finish this, and then at some point after 2 hours, I'll check my data and levels and let you know how it performed. All right, let's take a look at the results. It scored a 6 on the levels software, a gentle rise. There was a 22-point increase in glucose. Now, generally, the consensus seems to be that 30 points constitutes a spike. So while this was not a spike, it did go up and it stayed up for a fairly extended period of time, as you can see there on the graph. So it would appear that the fat and protein blunted the response, but kind of smoothed it out over a longer period of time. Let's go into the compare function and compare the bun to the bread. So here are the absolute numbers, and you can see that the bread, I did start at a slightly higher glucose level. So perhaps it would be better to show it in relative terms. So that gives them both a 0 starting point. And there you can see it's far more pronounced. You can really see that peak on the bread. Now, this does create a little bit of a complication. I was honestly hoping that we would see a bigger spike out of the buns. That way I could say, yep, Hero bread, it's a no-go. But it didn't. So I kind of feel I've got 2 tests yet that I need to do. I need to do that same burger, but on 2 slices of bread, and I need to eat a plain bun. So I will come back tomorrow and do one of those 2 things, and then in 2 days, I'll do the other. And then I think we'll have a complete picture of the Hero bread and buns. All right, I am back for the 3rd test of the Hero bread/buns. This time, 2 slices of bread, not toasted, with a burger. It's the exact same thing that I had the burger bun on. So, slice of cheddar, got some homemade mayo, got some brown mustard. I'll kick off the levels analysis software. I'll tell you right now, just picking this up, the hamburger bun, definitely a better delivery mechanism for a burger. The bread, already getting squishy, a lot like Wonder Bread would if you made a burger. Yeah, the burger bun's definitely way better texture. Yeah, I'm not loving this bread as a bun, but I'm gonna finish this and I'll be back in 2 hours with the results. Okay, let's see what the results were for the cheeseburger on the Hero bread. I have never seen this before with the Level software. Score not available. It says unable to calculate a score for this zone with missing glucose data, but there's no gaps anywhere in the line. I guess what I can say is it never crossed 110. It looks to be a fairly stable response. I don't have an actual score that I can share with you, but this does sort of confirm the whole fat and protein blunting a glucose response. I didn't expect it to blunt it quite this much, but I guess now we just wait till tomorrow and we'll try out the burger bun plain. All right, now I'm going to test the bun. No burger. To be consistent with the bread, one half is untoasted, the other half toasted with butter. I got to tell you, I really do like the consistency of these buns. They definitely hold together very well and stand up to a burger. And I gotta say, I think the bun toasted and buttered tastes way better than the bread toasted and buttered. But I'm gonna finish both of these halves and I'll be back in 2 hours to see what the glucose impact was. So let's see how the plain, well, mostly plain burger bun was. We had one side that was completely plain and untoasted, the other side toasted and butter, so that it was the same as my bread review. And it scored a 6 out of 10 per the Level software with a 23-point rise in glucose. Now let's compare that to with the burger. Interestingly, even though they both scored a 6, and I don't fully understand how Level scores, it is pretty obvious that there is a difference, with the green being the burger bun without a burger on it, and the white being with the burger on it. If we go to absolute, again, you can see that that green line, I hope I'm doing this from your perspective, the green line does go a bit higher than the white, and it's over the 110 threshold for a fair bit longer. Now, if we compare the burger bun without a burger to just the Hero bread, you can see there is a pretty considerable difference between the two of them. If we go relative, starting both of them at 0, you can also see how the bread spikes higher and faster. Now, it's possible that this is just within regular variation within a person's body and how they respond to glucose. The other possibility is that the buns do contain allulose. And there have been some other YouTube channels that have suggested that allulose may have a glucose blunting property to it. So that's possible. So what is my overall takeaway from this and my verdict on the Hero products? First off, the bread, not super thrilled with it. I didn't really love the texture. The price at $10 a loaf too, I have a hard time with that. The burger buns, the texture on them were just fantastic. I think it's the best burger buns I have tested so far, and with a burger on it, the glucose response wasn't all that bad if you don't object to the ingredients. I also had the hot dog bun the other day, just one hot dog bun with a single hot dog on it, and again, I did not see a significant glucose response, likely because it was blunted due to the hot dog. I don't have a screenshot to share with you on that though. So I think I can give a thumbs up to both the burger buns and the hot dog buns with the qualifier of it does contain wheat products. I did not have any inflammation or any significant inflammation as a result of eating these, even though they included canola oil, which is sort of on my sketchy list. If you're wondering, what about the tortillas? I will be reviewing those as part of part 3 of my tortilla epic mega review, whatever we want to call it, where I'm testing a few other brands from the store that I didn't get around to, as well as a number of different online-only tortillas. So stay tuned for that. So hopefully you found this review helpful. If you did, please click that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, tap that subscribe button, then hit the bell to turn on all notifications. And lastly, if you'd like to help support the Serious Keto Test Kitchen and offset some of my costs, because this was an expensive one, with that hero bread. Click that join button and see what memberships and perks are all about. Thanks for watching.